Well, good evening, everybody. It is the final class of the beginners workshop for the Astral workshop. For those of you that have been with us the entire journey, thank you very much. For those of you that are dropping in or just starting, thank you very much. I have a bit of news for you. Let me go ahead and share a screen here because there's some stuff you need to see. Alrighty. So, Divination Academy website found at divinationacademy.com. If you go here, and if you're in this class, you're obviously a student because it is actually a closed program available to only students. Now, if you go to the study guide section, as well as seeing all of the other wonderful things we have on there, you'll see one that says Astral Projection. If you click on this and try to go to the recordings, it's going to ask you for a password. The slides are going to be available for everybody to view. However, all of the recordings are going to be behind a password. That password will be being put into the Astral chat. It will actually be a pinned message in there, so every time you go in there you should be able to see it. For the time being, this is the way we're going to do it, because I just want this to be available only at the moment for members of the actual academy.
Could you speak up a little bit, Paul, please?
Yeah, sorry. Is that any better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. At the moment, all of the class recordings are behind a password protection. The slides will be available for everybody. However, the class recordings are all going to be behind a password. That password will be being put into the Astral Projection chat room. And obviously, I'd still like to keep that chat going even after this workshop finishes, because I'm sure people will be going back, reviewing it, so on and so forth. So we'll keep that there as a resource, as well as the slides and the recordings. There's going to be a resource section that's going to be added, that's going to have material from different websites, YouTube channels, all that kind of thing, podcasts that you can go to, books I personally recommend that I've taken some of the information from this course from. All of those will be in the resource section, which is also fixing to be added here. So that is where you will find all of the information on the Astral Projection Workshop. It has its own little spot within the Divination Academy. So if I now go, I hope I don't press the wrong button here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Obviously, a reminder, Divination Academy YouTube channel. If you go onto the playlist section, you'll see we've got an absolute buttload of courses up there now. A lot of them are being added. We have the ceremonial magic, the Enochian magic, the moon magic, the pagan sabbats of the weird, the dark goddess, the basics of paganism, history of witchcraft. We've got everything up there. Crystal magic, the astrology, the herbalism, spellcasting, everything is up there for people to go peruse. Now, if you decide you're going to watch one of the videos, and after watching it, you want to get credit for it, that's also possible. What you would do is you would go to you would send an email. That email address can be found in the Contact Us section, and that is the email that you would send your 2-paragraph report to. It can be as long as you want. However, we do require a minimum of 2 paragraphs, just so we can make sure that you've fully understood the concept of the video, so on and so forth. So all of that is available. If you get in touch with your mentors after you've done the video and written your report, they will let the relevant people know to look out for an email from you. Once that gets read and approved, we can get your credit added to your student pages. So, with that in mind, let us now progress to today's class. Today's class, exploring the spiritual realm, or the astral plane, as it's sometimes. Spiritual realm, astral plane are both interchangeable. The lower realm is pretty much the lower realm. The upper realm is the upper realm. The celestial, not celestial, the what I refer to as the bridge realm, which is the second one that we actually covered. So, what is the spiritual astral plane? Spiritual astral plane is a realm of existence beyond the physical world, where the soul or consciousness can travel during meditation or OBE, or out-of-body experiences. It is believed to be a higher dimension of reality where the laws of physics do not apply and the possibilities are endless. Exploring the spiritual astral realm can lead to profound personal growth, spiritual development. By accessing this realm, you can gain insight into your true self and the true nature of reality. You may also encounter entities or beings that can provide guidance or support on your spiritual journey. Now, I'm going to be pausing at several points in this. I'm just going to go through the okay, this one. Okay, so what are the characteristics that you will expect to find on the spiritual astral plane? Spiritual astral plane is said to be a place of pure energy and consciousness, where time and space are irrelevant. It is a realm of thought, emotion, and intention, where one can manifest their desires and explore the depths of their soul. Now, if you can remember in previous classes, I've discussed at length about setting intentions, be that through use of a sigil, be that through use of putting an affirmation down. Those things are very important, especially when it comes to this realm. The spiritual astral realm, as we'll find out on the next slide, is different to the other 3 realms in the astral world. It's different in that typically, well, we'll find out when we go on to the next page. While exploring the spiritual astral realm, one may encounter various entities such as spirit guides, angels, deceased loved ones. It is important to approach these encounters with an open mind and heart and trust one's intuition and guidance. As I've said, the spiritual astral plane is a realm beyond physical world where one can explore different dimensions and experience spiritual growth and enlightenment. Enlightenment is said to be a place of higher consciousness where one can connect with their higher self, spirit guides, and other entities. The scenery on the spiritual astral plane can vary depending on one's perception and intention. It can range from beautiful landscape to abstract shapes and colors. It can either include otherworldly beings and entities. This is where the aliens come in, folks. This is where the celestial beings come in. To fully explore the spiritual astral realm, one must be willing to let go of limiting beliefs and fears, and to trust the power of their own consciousness. This can be achieved through various spiritual practices such as meditation, lucid dreaming, and astral projection. Now, something I want to pick up on here: limitations of beliefs and fears. What does that mean? Well, everybody associates the astral realm. When you talk to people about the astral realm, they hear things about the lower realm, and that's where all the bad guys and the bad stuff happens. Well, that's also where people do a lot of shadow work. That's also where a lot of people address fears. Yes, it is a heavier place, but that's simply because the emotions that we're dealing with in the lower astral realm are typically heavier. However, in the spiritual astral realm, we're dealing with things on a much higher frequency. That higher frequency attunes your brain and your receptors within your brain to sometimes put up barriers. It is really, really important in the spiritual realm that you try to let go of any preconceptions, any fears, and you just allow yourself to fully open up. Now, the reason for this is because of its characteristics. It's non-physical in nature. The spiritual astral plane is a non-physical realm. So what you can imagine space to be, the spiritual astral realm is beyond space. It's beyond time. Your spirit and your mind can literally travel. Even though you're in a realm, you can go to different dimensions. You can go to different states of consciousness, as it were, whilst in the spiritual astral plane. It's one of the few places where you can change your level of consciousness whilst doing astral work. As I said, it's multidimensional. The spiritual astral plane is a multidimensional realm, meaning that it has many different levels and layers. Each layer has its own unique characteristics, entities, and scenery. Now you'll notice here, I've deliberately not put what that's going to be. The reason for that is because of the fact that it's a subjective experience. Why is it subjective? It means that each person's experience of it will be unique. It's influenced by the individual's beliefs, expectations, and your level of consciousness. All right, we'll go to the next slide and then we'll pause because I see there are a couple of chats. And while I'm sharing the screen, I can't read them. So let's go on there. Scenery of the spiritual astral realm, breathtaking, awe-inspiring sight to behold. The realm of infinite possibilities where the laws of physics, reality are known do not apply. The scenery is often described as vibrant, colorful, pulsating with energy. It is a world of pure consciousness where thought, emotion, and intentions manifest into physical form. Excuse me. This is really important. Thought, emotion, and intentions can manifest into physical forms. Now, on the previous slide, you will remember me talking about various entities that you're going to experience within this realm. The aliens, the unexplained, the unexplainable, the glowy people. Also might see celestial cities or temples. These structures are often ethereal and grand, made of a luminous material that appears to be both solid and ethereal at the same time. In my experiences, these cities are centers of learning. Now, I want you to remember the city being a center of learning, because this is really important. The type of entity you may encounter in the spiritual astral plane. Spirit guides. These entities can be thought of as mentors or teachers who guide you on your spiritual journey. They can take on various forms, such as angels, ascended masters, or even deceased loved ones. Negative entities. These entities are often associated with fear or negativity and can take on forms such as demons or malevolent spirits. It is important to remember you are protected, safe, and grounded. Does that sound familiar to anybody from a previous lesson? You can also encounter elementals. These entities are associated with the four elements: earth, air, fire, and water. Take on forms such as fairies or sprites. They are often seen as protectors of nature and can provide guidance on environmental issues. You could also encounter animal spirits. These entities are often associated with a specific animal that can provide guidance or protection related to that animal's symbolism. For example, a wolf spirit may represent loyalty and leadership, where a bear spirit may represent strength and healing. There is also the possibility you are going to bump into deities. These are often associated with specific religions or belief systems and can take forms such as gods or goddesses. They can provide guidance and blessings related to their area of influence. Now, this is the thing that most people associate with this particular spiritual realm. They associate it with angels. They associate it with gods and goddesses, all that kind of thing. But there are so many other things you can see here. Ancestors, often deceased family members or ancestors who have all passed on. They can provide guidance or wisdom related to your family heritage or lineage. They also may be able to provide advice on personal issues. So you will see there is such a wide selection of everything from spirit guides, angels, demons, malevolent spirits, elementals, animals, gods, goddesses, ancestors. When it says this is a realm of infinite possibilities, it truly, truly does mean infinite possibilities. So I'm going to stop the share just there. And I'm going to go back up here and just read the chat. Yes. Okay. Yes. Ha, ha, ha. Thank you, Kelsey. I do appreciate that. I do try to explain as much as I can, and I appreciate the comments. Thank you, guys. Would I say this realm is more used for shamanic work? Believe it or not, Kelsey, if I was going to be doing shamanic work, I would actually go to the lower astral realm. Simply because of the symbology that's involved there. Also because of the heavy atmosphere, or the lower frequency. When I'm talking about me personally, I can get more work done in the lower realm. The lower realm I use a lot for shadow work and for discovery. The spiritual realm I would use for more on direct answers. So depending on what you were looking for as far as your shamanic work is concerned, either the lower or the spiritual. The thing about the spiritual realm, and this is something that people, I'm going to use some terminology here, and I don't want anybody to take offense, but it's the easiest way for me to explain this. When people think of the spiritual astral realm, they think of fluffy, they think of unicorns, angels, heavenly beings, that kind of thing. And a lot of people don't actually realize that, yes, there are that there are those entities there, but there are also demons there. Demons work on all levels of the consciousness. They communicate with us through all type of vibration. Just because you're in a high vibration state does not mean you are void of the more, I don't want to say darker side, but the more, not necessarily negative, but the more, if I had to choose between fighting an angel and fighting a demon, I would take the demon every single time. I want to get away from the perception, and you'll understand why shortly. I want people to understand that I'm not talking about angels here in a religious context. Okay, I'm talking about them in a purely spiritual context, and I think there needs to be a good split between the two. To an angel, you are but a mere mortal. Even though you're in an astral realm that they inhabit, you are just a mere mortal. You are not a heavenly body. You are not a celestial body. You are not one of God. That's debatable whether you decide that because we're made of stardust, we are God. You are more likely to get answers from you're more likely to get answers from a demon than you are from an angel. And I know that's completely contrary to what everybody believes. But a demon will be direct and to the point. An angel will look at you as if to say, you have a brain, figure this out. Why are you wasting my time with this? So, yes, you could very well see angels here. Yes, you could very well see any manner of things here. You could see a two-headed octopus with 16 tendrils wearing a pair of sunglasses. What you think you can see, you're not even close to it. But I want everybody to be fully aware of the fact that, yes, it is a spiritual okay. Give me one. Yep, I certainly can. Not a problem at all. Okay, so this is where things are going to get. And Alex has asked an absolutely amazing question. Can you explain what a demon is and how does it differ from a demon? A lot of people have, oh crikey, a lot of perceptions. How did she word it? I want to make sure I'm wording it. Yeah. A lot of people have a lot of preconceived notions about demons from Christianity and what the difference is. Okay, so when you're talking on a Christian level, there is the heavenly and there is hell. And then there is where we are right now. Okay, so you have heaven, the earth, and then you have hell. Now, depending on your view, on your Christian background, because we all know there are, just like with every religion, with Christianity, there are various different denominations, there are various different sects, there are sects within the domination within the denominations. Basically, when you're talking demon, okay, DEMOND, you are thinking on a religious level. You are thinking Satan, okay, and all the things that go off on the fiery pits of hell. When you're talking about a daemon, and I always mispronounce it and call them both the same thing, but they're not. We're talking about a spiritual entity that works on a lower vibrational frequency. They are not all evil. They are not all. And if you are a Christian pagan or a Christian Wiccan, I don't want you to get hung up on demons are evil, because no, they're not all evil at all. They just work on a different level and a different frequency to what we do. For instance, Kelsey today did a class on the Morgana. You know, this is a death goddess. Is she a demon? Lucifer and Satan, are they one in the same, or are they different? For instance, is Luciferianism the same as Satanism? No, they're completely different. So I'm not trying to step on any toes here, but there is a distinct difference between the two. To me, any spiritual entity can be a demon. A demon with the D, as it were, to me is what Christianity refers to as Satan, a fallen angel. What makes a fallen angel any different than a regular, normal angel? They're both angels. It's just one operates on a different plane to the other. I hope that explains it well enough. And if anybody has anything else to chip in on that, please chip in. Okay, so we
Could you go just to the last part quickly? I was coughing and I didn't hear anything. I'm sorry.
no, that's no problem. So basically, what I'm trying to do is point out the fact that even if I say a malevolent spirit or a demon, okay, I'm not talking about something that is inherently evil. And most people, when they hear the word demon or daemon, think evil. No, that's not the case. Some of my real difficult situations have been helped by talking to what some people, and when I say some people, I'm referring to ultra religious people. And as I say, I'm going to make a clear distinction here between somebody who is a Christian and somebody who is a Christian extremist. And I know that's a really, really dangerous word to use, especially in the current geopolitical climate. But not everything that operates on a lower frequency is going to send you to hell. It is not going to mean you are going to burn for eternity in brimstone and hellfire. It does not mean that. It is, and I know this is a really touchy subject, especially throughout the whole of the pagan community. So I'm having to be careful with the way I word it, but I want to make this perfectly clear to everybody. I am not trying to offend any religion, because I will draw similarities with other religions. When we talk Christianity and we talk the bad guys, we talk about spirits, ghosts, ghouls, demons, Satan, that kind of thing. Okay, ghouls can be helpful, spirits can be helpful. If you follow that line of thought, Satan can be helpful. just as can Lucifer. Are they the same or are they different? Again, it depends on your. It depends greatly on your original viewpoint, which is why, as I said when I was going through the slides, it's really important. Yeah, that's um Alex's sorry, Morgan has just said, when you say demons operate on a lower frequency, are we talking about levels of consciousness? Okay, so if you were to hold a piece of quartz and really focus on the feeling that quartz is giving off, it's like a really high vibration. Then if you were to hold something like, say, a piece of lepidolite, it's still vibrating, but it's vibrating at a slightly lower frequency. It's more calming, it's more soothing. So you can apply the same with your consciousness. I'm having a bad day. I'm operating on a lower frequency. I'm having an amazing day. I'm absolutely hyper. I'm bouncing off the wall like a piece of blubber. Yada, yada, yada. You know, I can't shut up. I'm actually on a high frequency. Well, consciousness, depending on your school of thought and your exoteric practice, can be the same way. If you look at the chakra system, for instance, if you look at a frequency chart of the chakras from the root to the crown, the frequency increases. So different levels of consciousness, frequency, intertwinable to me, if that helps. These are some really good questions tonight. Okay, good. So when we were talking about different entities that you might discover, and I mentioned the word demon, when I've talked about this in personal conversations or in private conversations with individual, the second you mention, hang on, we're in the spiritual realm. Isn't this all like angels and celestial beings? Yeah. A demon is a celestial being. Your ancestors are celestial beings. You could see one of your ancestors in a dream, and to you it might bring comfort. Somebody else might see one of your ancestors and go, oh, it was an absolute nightmare. There was this 85-year-old guy walking towards me, hobbling towards me, going, give me a hug, give me a hug. Well, to you, that's Grandpa Joe. To them, it's a creepy dude who's trying to hug them. This is honey, I'm not entirely sure. However, I will look into it and I will find out for you. I believe it is either going to be one of two things. I believe it is either going to be Latin or Arabic. And a bastardization, for want of a better word, of that. It would probably how far back do you want to take it? I mean, you know, the jinn, the genie. Are we talking the Lesser Keys of Solomon? Are we talking about Grimoire? Are we talking Book of Shadows? I'm not 100%, so I don't want to say it and not be confident in what I'm saying, but that is definitely something I will check out, honey, and I will put that into the chat. I'll put that into the chat for the astral projection. All right, so back to the slides. Go. Thank you for that, by the way. That was absolutely an amazing bunch of questions. So, okay. All right. So, deep dive into the spiritual astral realm. Is a fascinating and mysterious place. It can be explored through various techniques such as meditation, lucid dreaming, astral projection. This realm is said to be a higher plane of existence where a soul can travel and explore beyond its physical world. In this section, we're going to take a closer look at some of the aspects of the spiritual realm. So we've mentioned the different realms and dimensions. This is where the plane versus realm argument comes in, kind of like the astral projection versus astral travel. Each are uniquely different, but a lot of people interchange them, and this is part of the reason why I'm trying to clear these myths up as we go along in each of the classes. To me, and this is just on I've lost my train of thought here. Okay, so think of the plane as, yeah, let's do it this way. Think of the plane as terra firma, as the ground. Okay. Now the realms, I want you to think of as the sky. So through the realm, through the plane, you can see the realm. You can see the sky, and you can look down from the sky, and you can see the plane. And the dimension is what's beyond the sky, the space. The stuff that you can't see when you're on terra firma, but if you're high enough up in the realm, just like when you get past, on a rocket where eventually the blue sky disappears and the darkness of the night sky appears. That, to me, is the plane, the realm, and the dimension. Now, the astral, the spiritual plane, or the spiritual realm, if you will, is quite unique in that you can go from one to the other across a bit. So imagine it like you're going across country. Okay, you get out your house, you jump in an Uber, you go to the airport, you get on your plane, you go to your destination, you get off the plane, you then take a shuttle or a transit line, you get off there, you jump in another Uber, and then you end up at your final destination. This is how I want you to think of the spiritual realm. Okay, this is how I want you to think of this. It is multi-dimensional. So within one realm, you have many, many, many different dimensions. And through those dimensions, you can meet spirit guides, angels, demons, negative entities, positive entities. You can meet flying pigs. You can meet frogs that don't gribbet, but they talk. You can meet angels. You can meet pretty much anything. In this realm, it is not like the other realms. It is open to all and infinite possibilities. So exploring an adventure, exploring the spiritual astral realm can be a thrilling and transformative experience. It can provide insight into your inner self, offer guidance and healing, and connect you to your higher spirit beings. It is important to approach this realm with an open mind and heart, and to trust your intuition and inner guidance. Please, I'm being destroyed by a cat right now. Alrighty. Sorry, he ripped my earphone out. So, before we begin, again, I'm going to go back to the chat, and then we're going to travel. We're going to go to the spiritual realm. Yeah. Forget demons and angels. Paul versus the cat is much more fun. Yeah. Cat thinks she can win, but I will conquer. Okay. That makes sense. Thought it was romance parody with the gin. It may well be, honey. As I say, I don't know whether that's an Aramaic or Latin spelling. It could be either. But as soon as I find out, you will all know. Could be. Melissa, that'll be a Kelsey top. Oh, yeah. Okay. The way I always think about frequency is this: the molecules within a solid vibrate quickly around the molecule. Gas is a state of mind where you're close to being cast with of energy. You're close to the astral grounded. You're assuming work able to. Okay, I need to read this. Gas is a state of mind where you're closer to being a gas because you're closer to being made of energy. You're closer to the actual realm. You aren't grounded, but extremely euphoric and able. Yep, that's a superb way of putting it. I love that. Moving away from the earth. And the guide needed to bring me back. Don't worry, Andrea. I will be your guide. I will bring you back. I promise. No, actually, Melissa. The reason you're going to need the silver is going to become clear shortly. Okay, yeah. Kelsey brings up a good point. It is a misconception with regards to the astral realm that you are going to float away from your body and you are going to become a blubbering wreck. It is also a misconception that you are going to die if you use the silver cord method and somebody cuts the cord. That is a fear. That is something that will hold you back. The use of guides is a way to do it. Also, that affirmation of I am centered, I am grounded, and I am protected. Now, I can't guarantee that you're not going to have what they call snapback, which is where you return to your body in a hurry. I'm not asking you to, sprint back to your body or anything like that. But if you're doing this kind of thing, if you're not doing lucid dreaming and we're not doing a specific exercise to get an OBE or an out of body experience, which I've not really covered. Maybe that's a topic for another professor at another time. I'm not sure. Okay, sorry, just going through the chat just to make sure. But yeah, this misconception that you can get lost, no. However, I will say this: astral travel can, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I know we have a couple of people in the chat right now who do astral projection and astral travel on a regular basis. It can become very almost addictive, and that's probably too strong of a word, but the euphoria and the joy and the happiness and the serotonin and the dopamine, all those brain fuzzy chemicals that make us feel warm, fuzzy, and happy, they can happen in the astral realm, just as fear can happen in the astral realm. But as I made clear right from the very beginning, it's not like somebody's going to walk up to you in the astral realm with a big old spiky stick and go, stab you in the heart, and all of a sudden you drop dead. It doesn't work that way, folks. That's fantasy, that's misconception, that's movies, that's so on and so forth. That is not going to happen. You are not going to drop down dead. You're not going to get separated from your body. Well, technically you are separated from your body, but you're not going to get lost. If you can say home, think of it as being Dorothy and snapping your little red shoes and going, I'm in Kansas, or I'm in Colorado, or I'm in Texas, or wherever you want to be. Snap those little red shoes together and off you go. You'll be good.
There's no place like home.
Exactly. No place like home. And the great thing is you don't even have to verbalize this. You can just think, this session is over and it's time for me to return. Are you going to get so spaced out that you don't know the difference between reality and what you're seeing? No, you're not, because there's always that connection between you and your body. And that's the really important thing here. Okay, so if you would, in your notebooks, I want you to write out the following sentence. I am open to all visitors. I'm going to type that out in the chat. I am open to all visitors. Now, directly underneath this, and this one is important. Okay, so I want you to think about this as you write this. Okay. Yep, that's right. I am open to all visitors is going to be your first statement. Your next statement is I am an open vessel. And what I want you to do is I want you to just spend a minute and just look at those two sentences, and without saying it out loud or verbalizing it or typing it down, I want you to give yourself your own interpretation of this. And then there's going to be one final statement that we're going to write down. I am free of fear. Oh, sorry, I've just realized I've been sending that to one person. I should have been sending it to everybody. I do apologize. But I am free of fear. I did wonder. I am open to all visitors. I am an open vessel. I am free of fear. So, Danny, the three statements that you're going to write there are I am open to all visitors. I am an open vessel. I am free of fear. Okay, so we are now going to talk about dominant and non-dominant. What I want you to do is I want you to fold that piece of paper up small enough that you can fit it into the palm of your dominant hand. So take that piece of paper, fold it up nice and small, and I want you to put it in your dominant hand. So if you write with your right hand, you'll put it in your right hand. If you write with your left hand, you will put it in your left hand. I then want you to take your silver object. So if you have a coin or a ring or a necklace or a piece of cutlery or a rolled up piece of aluminium foil, I want you to put that in your dominant hand also. Now what we're going to do is we're going to focus our attention on our hand. So we're going to be looking at our hand here that has those three statements. I am open to all visitors. I am an open vessel. I am free of fear. Okay, and I want you to keep repeating those three statements while staring at your hand that has the statements on a piece of paper plus a piece of silver or something that is of a silver color. Okay, now as you're doing this, what I want you to do is I want you to take a deep breath in. Hold, and then blow it out. I want you to take another deep breath. Hold, and let it go. Do the same again. Now I want you to return to your regular breathing. Again, still focusing on your hand. Now what I want you to do is I want you to close your eye. And I want you, if you're ambidextrous, honey, pick a hand. Now what I want you to do is, with your eyes closed, I just want you to breathe. Don't have to do anything special. No deep breathing, no box breathing, nothing like that. But what I want you to do is I want you to think about those statements that we've just made. I am open to all visitors. I am an open vessel. I am free of fear. As you do that, you're going to become more relaxed. And you'll know when you're starting to become more relaxed because the silver that you have in your hand will start to warm up just a little bit. And again, I want you to go through those three statements. I am open to all visitors. I am an open vessel. I am free of fear. Now, we're going to revisit our city street. What I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you're walking down the sidewalk of a busy city. As you're walking down, you can hear the noise of the traffic and the distant siren, the hustle and bustle of people coming to and from the store as they go in and out and they go to work and leave work and they go about their business. And as you look around, you can see skyscrapers, you can see shops, you can see all manner of things. And you're going to keep walking down the street, and we're going to approach a crossroad. But as you approach the crossroad, you're going to notice you can't cross the road, because in the middle of the street there's a blockage that crosses over the zebra crossing. You look to your left, you can't go that way. You look to your right, and you can't go that way. You look in front of you, and you can't even go that way. So you stand there, and you look up to the sky. And as you look up to the sky, you can feel the warmth of the sun as it gently beats against your face. You can feel the warmth of the silver in your hand. And then you notice our friend, the little girl, as she's skipping towards you. She tugs on your arm and says, "Why don't you get a taxi?" And with that, she turns round and she skips back down the sidewalk, off into the crowd. She said you suggested you get a taxi. So I want you to imagine you holding out your hand that has your piece of paper and your silver, and you hail a cab. And all of a sudden, a cab appears. The door opens and you get in. And the taxi driver says, "Where are we going today?" "We're going to take you to the park." So the taxi driver says, "Okay," and off he drives, driving down the street. And you'll notice as he's driving how the sidewalk and how the buildings start to blur, almost as if you're going very fast. And as you look out the window to your left and to your right, you realize you're not seeing sidewalk, you're seeing windows of a skyscraper. You're floating in a taxi going quite fast, but you are free of fear. So you don't get scared, you don't get nervous. And as you look out the front window of the taxi, you see this beautiful park. The taxi pulls in and said, "The fare's on the little girl. Her present for your last class." So you step out the car and you go through the gate of the park. And it's a huge park. Huge. And you see the animals, you see little bunny rabbits and birds, and beavers, and all kinds of things. You look up to the sky and you feel the warmth of that sun, but it feels a little bit warmer. Almost as if you're close to it. And you can feel the silver in your hand getting warmer. It's not hot, or uncomfortable, but it's definitely warmer. And you notice down the pathway, there's a clock underneath a gazebo. So you walk towards the clock. And as you walk towards the clock, you can see the shade of the gazebo. And you notice all of a sudden, the closer you get, the fact the clock is now on top of the gazebo, and it's making a tock tick noise. Tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick. But you're feeling the warmth from the sun and the warmth from your hand. So you decide to go stand underneath the gazebo in the shade. And as you look up, you'll see, instead of seeing a gazebo roof, what you actually see is you see a silver pool, rippling like water, like a still lake. And you notice that as you take your hand that has the silver and it has your intent, that as you lift your hand, your whole body lifts. And you go through this lovely, cool ripple. And as you go through this cool ripple, you feel that cooling sensation coming all over your body, from your hand to your head to your toes. You feel so cool. You're comfortable. You're not sweating. And you look in front of you and you see darkness. You see stars. You see flickering, shining light. You see golden rays tracing across the sky like shooting stars. And you'll notice in front of you, there's a golden path, kind of like the Yellow Brick Road. It's made of cobbles, and it leads to a big building. Kind of looks like a pyramid. So you slowly start to walk. You take a walk down your golden path, and you glance down at your hand, and you remember those 3 sentences that you wrote. I am open to all visitors. I am an open vessel. I am free of fear. And as soon as you say those last words, I am free of fear, beings start appearing. What are these beings? Who are these beings? What do they mean to you? What symbology do they have for you? You are free from fear. You do not fear them. You are an open vessel. You are open to all visitors. In your mind, I want you to repeat those 3. I am free of fear. I am an open vessel. I am open to all visitors. As you walk down this golden path, some of these entities may try to talk to you. If you want to stop and talk, that's fine. If you don't, you can carry on down towards the golden pyramid. If you are talking to somebody, invite them along. Tell them you're going to the golden pyramid. As you approach the golden pyramid, you're going to notice that the golden pyramid has two big cobras reared up at the entrance. But these aren't statues, these are giant cobras. These are living entities. You're also going to notice next to the cobras, there are two spiders. With red glowing eyes and big fangs. As you approach, they're not hostile. They're not scary. They're really quite friendly. As a spider approaches you, it says, "Who are you here to see?" You tell them you are here to see the guardian of the circle. And as you do that, he turns round and says, "Follow." And you follow him deep into the pyramid. Now, this is a pyramid you've not experienced before. It's shiny, it's metallic, but it's also very, very clear. And as you walk down these corridors that are illuminated by torchlight, by candle, and by some strange iridescent glow, you come to a set of stairs. This set of stairs leads up. The spider walks up the stairs and says, "Follow." So you slowly walk up the stairs. There is a great hall in front of you, made out of gorgeous wooden panels. 4 archways. And in the middle, you can see there is a large silver circle. You'll notice in the middle of the circle is our friend, the little girl. But as you approach, the silver circle turns into a silver wall, and you hear the following phrase: "Password." And you repeat the following 3 sentences. I am open to all visitors. I am an open vessel. I am free of fear. I wish to see the seer silver, silver, silver. And as you say the third silver, the wall drops. And you're able to walk into the circle. As you walk into the circle, the little girl vanishes. But as she leaves, she says one thing. She tells you, welcome. As the walls go up, you feel the silver in your hand starting to get warm again. And you feel yourself floating higher and higher. You look up and you see what appears to be a moon. Half white and half black. Which side will you go on your journey? Who are you going to go visit? Welcome. I'll allow you a few minutes to get yourself acquainted with your surroundings and with the beings that you're about to meet. Welcome to the spiritual realm. Welcome, traveler. Focus on the surroundings. Focus on the beings. Focus on the court. Where are you? What are you? You are free of fear. You are an open vessel. You are open to all visitors. as you meet with your fellow travelers in the astral realm, you slowly notice a flickering flame in the distance, and you ask your fellow travelers if they wish to travel with you to the flame. And you begin your journey towards the flame. Feeling the warmth of the flame as you get closer and closer. As you get closer to the flame, you'll turn to your fellow travelers and bid them farewell. Because the flame is now the gazebo. And this time the clock is going tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. And you notice down the path, the taxi is waiting with the little girl in the back. And you head towards the taxi. As you head towards the taxi, you take one last look around, enjoying the scenery of the park. Enjoy the animals. Maybe your traveller friend is there waving. And as you sit into the taxi, you're going to take a nice big deep breath. And the little girl is going to whisper something into your ear. And as you continue to breathe, you're going to realize that you're no longer in a taxi, but you're back where we began, back home. Take a few more deep breaths and then slowly open your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. Keep on breathing. Look around, get your composure. Realize your surroundings. Realize you're back home. Realize that you're free of fear. Realize that you are an open vessel. Realize that you've been open to all visitors. Take a couple of deep breaths. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. All right, can I just have a thumbs up, a yes, a hi, just so I know everybody is wide awake and feeling good.
Oh, feeling great. Thanks, Paul.
All right, final check-in for everybody. Everybody good? Okay. All right. Now that everybody's just getting readjusted, I'm gonna go move on to the next slide. If my thing will let me. Yes. Okay. So, the spiritual astral plane. Fascinating realm that offers endless opportunities for exploration and growth. By venturing into this realm, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Through meditation, lucid dreaming, and other techniques, we can learn to navigate this plane with ease and connect with the entities and energies that reside there. While the spiritual astral plane can be a powerful tool for personal development, it is important to approach it with caution and respect. As with any spiritual practice, it's crucial to do your research and seek guidance from experienced practitioners before diving in. Whether you're interested in exploring the spiritual astral plane for personal growth, spiritual development, or just out of curiosity, there are many resources available to help you on your journey. From books to online courses to local meditation groups and spiritual retreats, there are countless ways to deepen your understanding of this fascinating realm. In conclusion, the spiritual astral plane is a rich and complex realm that offers endless possibilities for exploration and growth. By approaching it with an open mind and a respectful attitude, we can tap into its vast potential and unlock new levels of spiritual awareness. And here are just a couple of resources for you. Books that I highly recommend. The Astral Plane, Scenery, Inhabitants and Phenomena by C.W. Ledbetter. Journey Out of the Body by Robert Monroe. Adventures Beyond the Body, How to Experience Out-of-Body Travel by William Bullen. Websites, Astral Dynamics, a great site by Robert Bruce. Monroe Institute, founded by obviously Robert Monroe, made infamous by the CIA, but still a great resource. the International Academy of Consciousness, the iacworld.org site. Again, all of these resources plus other resources that I've mentioned are all going to be in the resources section of the Astral Realm section on the Divination website. So, questions, comments, concerns. What I would like to do is I'm sorry, Rebecca. I don't want to keep everybody up too late. But now you understand the premise of it. It's certainly something you could discover and maybe work on your own. Well, obviously, you have the resource of the astral projection chat where we could talk further on the subject. Would anybody like to discuss either in the chat or on open mic? If you feel like coming on camera, I welcome you to. But obviously, we are recording, so be aware of that. Would anybody like to discuss their experience?
I just wanted to mention is that the slide you had there for the beings, and it looked like a form in black.
Yes.
That blew me away because that's how I saw my guides the last time.
Good.
So I was quite amazed. And as far as my experience goes, it was very angelic
Mm-hmm.
and very informative and confirmation of where I'm at right now. And it was beautiful.
Okay, thank you. Morgan, I got stuck at the silver pool behind the wall. Oh, no. Okay. Morgan, that is something I can work with you on. And I just want to point something out. I know probably a couple of you, not all of you, certainly know one person in here that definitely knows the significance of silver. Why did I have you use silver? Why was there a lot of silver references? In certain practices, including alchemy, silver is kind of the way I want you to think of silver is as a battery. Okay, now silver will hold memories, silver will hold thought, it will hold projection. And you'll notice that during the meditation, we repeated phrases several times. And we talked about how the ball got warmer or the silver got warmer. Now, did anybody actually physically feel the silver object in their hand getting warmer? Chelsea. Good. Okay. Okay.
I
Great.
did a little bit.
Oh,
My
okay.
hands are so cold all the time, so it would take an awful lot of heat to warm them up, though.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Alex? Yes. I very rarely do this, but I figure since we've got you in here, maybe you'd like to share it either on chat or on voice. If you don't, that's fine. I'm not going to force anybody. Okay, that's no problem. No problem at all. Um, Now, if anybody, does anybody else want to share what they experienced? Kelsey, I was personally overwhelmed by visitors this trip, being open to all visitors, like fighting to be my travel companions. Okay, let me ask another question. Anybody have what they would consider to be a negative experience?
Not me.
Oh, I'm reliably informed that Honey wants to share hers.
I thought you were going to get back to me. Um, my experience was really good. The worst thing was I was cut off, like Andrea, or not Andrea, someone else said,
Hmm.
and I accidentally ran into a long neck, like the dinosaur. Like I literally was flying through the air and accidentally rammed into its neck.
Okay.
And he tried to bite me, and then I
Oh,
fell onto his back. He didn't actually bite me. And then when I fell to the ground, I was actually caught by Kyle, some kind of flaming entity that would not give me his real name because he said I wouldn't be able to pronounce it. So he just told me to call him Kyle.
okay.
Um, but let me start at the beginning. After the gazebo on the Golden Road,
Hmm.
um, when we started to see beings, I saw a Zigzagoon, which is a Pokemon. I actually petted it. Its nose touched my hand, and I could feel the cold from its nose. That was cool. Um, then going forward, ran into a mermaid. She didn't want to go with the Golden Pyramid. Ran into like a Velociraptor type looking dragon. He just kind of roared in my face, like did a puff of air, like, and then just walked around me. And at the Golden Tower or Pyramid, I think the python, I believe you said the snake along with the spider.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay. The python was really nice. He kind of like bumped my head, like hello, and as the spider was taking me inside, and then have I said this before that the little girl is kind of creepy to me?
Yes, you have. You mentioned that last class actually.
Okay. um. Anyway, she just reminds me of the girls from Shining.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. I like her. I mean, she's cool. She just reminds me of them. So just a thing. Anyway, so after she disappeared and we're going up to the sky and seeing like the light and dark moon, instead of picking a side, I actually just went like straight into the middle of it,
Yes.
which kind of took me to where like I was in a group of trees with overgrown grass. It was kind of like maybe 8 feet wide. I was in the middle of it. Uh, and there was on my right, there was like snow and white and a narwhal, like a giant narwhal. And then on my right, there was a T-Rex, which is where the long neck comes in after. And I seen something zoom past me, and then the goddess Diana, I think,
Hmm.
showed up and kind of stopped, said, "Hey," and then continued on trying to shoot a deer with her arrow. That was a thing to zoom past me. And then I went walking farther in the middle, and I veered off into the icy area, and then I accidentally fell into some ice into the water, and I don't know how to swim, but I managed to swim, float back up to the surface. And when I did, I was in like the grassy portion that was actually on my right side. And when I looked from where I came up, when I looked to my right, I seen the snowy ice area again. When I looked to my left, I was looking at the grassy dinosaur area again. So I got up. I kind of purposefully set myself on fire to dry off really quick.
Okay.
And that worked. I actually warmed up a little bit from that too, because I'm cold in my room right now. And then I was walking along, and that's when Kyle, the fire guy, just came up. I was looking around, he just like showed up in front of me as I was walking. Said hey, said hi. And that's when I asked what his name was. He said, just call me Kyle. I said, Kyle? He said, yeah, you wouldn't be able to pronounce my actual name. Okay, Kyle it is. And then he wanted to show me something. So I said, yeah. And then he took off into the sky because he never actually touched ground. He was kind of like floating above it. And then I said, hey. And he said, we'll try and fly. So I did. I was able to like levitate up and then take off with him. We flew around a little bit. And then when he said to look for a flame, we were at some place. I was back on the ground. I don't remember where or what was around. Oh, Kentucky. Like some kind of interdimensional Kentucky.
Okay.
And that's when I seen the flame behind me. So then we both took up and off again. We were just kind of flying fast towards it, and I wasn't paying attention, and I veered the wrong way, and that's when I ran into the long neck, kind of like the Georgia the Jungle almost, kind of grabbed onto it as I hit it. And then he tried to bite me, so I slid down. That's when I accidentally hit his back harder than I meant to and fell off by his front leg, and then Kyle caught me before I actually hit the ground. And then I kind of righted myself. He grabbed my hand and we both took off towards the flame. But when we got there, we said goodbye. I walked up towards it. I was walking up to in the gazebo at that point. So then came back down. And I kind of pictured like that Central Park-ish with where the taxi and the gazebo was and that. And as I was walking towards the gazebo, there was like a patch of grass with a couple trees, kind of like the middle on the moon was. And I seen the zigzagoon again, kind of poked out and then ran back in. And oh, also when I seen the zigzagoon, I also seen a little alien something or other. It was really cute. It kind of was like round on the bottom with little stub legs, and on top it was kind of like almost in a cupcake tin. And on the bottom, and so it was a little bit smaller on the inside. The bottom was pink. The inner side was kind of a yellowish cream. And he just had like a little curly Q hair on top, and we were just walking along next to me until he veered off and dropped into the weird black abyss where I met the mermaid. Anyway, so then I seen the zigzagoon and got in the cab. That was it.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, honey. It sounds like you've kind of bumped into everything and everyone.
Is that a lot?
No, no, not at all. When I'm in the spiritual realm, I feel like at times I've been there for hours, when in reality I've probably only been there 10 minutes. And there's other times where I've been there 4 hours and it's felt like it's only been 5 minutes.
Okay.
But I just want to explain to all of you about the Golden Pyramid. Now, the Golden Pyramid is an important place for me personally. When you get more advanced with working in the astral realm, you'll learn how to construct buildings, totems, you name it. You'll learn how to set these in a certain place. And that to me is, it's kind of my launching pad, as it were. And the fact that you both had silver and said the word silver 3 times and made those 3 statements is what allowed you to get access to what I refer to as the Cube of Ascent. It is what I use constantly for astral projection into the spiritual realm. It's almost as if the park area and the gazebo are like me traveling from the middle realm up into the spiritual realm. But I'm aware constantly that I'm already in the spiritual realm. Now, if you'll remember me talking about how it's multifaceted and multidimensional, what you can do when you become more experienced, you'll learn how to set gateways and how to set anchor points. So literally you can use that to project to other places, both imaginary and real. Like you mentioning Kentucky, honey, was a real interesting point. Simply because that is not typically a location you would associate with the spiritual realm. So each and every one of us that has had an experience today, regardless of where we got to in the experience, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make almost like a journal entry. And that is entirely up to you whether you share that publicly or whether you keep that privately. But I would like you to have a memento of your travel. Also, the fact that if you remember in the last class, we talked about how we use things that are repetitive, i.e. the street, the hustle and bustle, the sounds, the noises, the landscape. It's something that we can all be familiar with. Even if we live out in the country, we've seen programs and we've seen films of people walking around in the city. So when you go on to do this on your own, by all means use mine and the creepy little skeleton girl, or the cute little girl who you want to hug. To me, the girl always appears like a teddy bear. Just to put that out there, full disclosure, I don't see her as a human. I see her as a female teddy bear, which is a contradiction in itself, I guess, but you know, hey, what the heck. But using key repetitive things will get you, especially if you're doing, for want of a better word, a guided meditation to get you into the astral realm. If you use those key indicators, once you start to see the girl, once you start to go to a certain place or a certain destination, these things become familiar to you. And because they're becoming familiar to you, it's a tool that you can use constantly as a means of travel. So that's a good point. If you're going to be doing this on your own on a regular basis, have, for want of a better word, anchor points. So a city street, the sound, something you can familiarize yourself with and you already know about. Because once you become more advanced and you'll do stuff like the bubblegum technique, the rollout techniques, the silver cord technique, the wake to sleep technique, there are hundreds of different techniques you can use. But what I've wanted to do through this entire series, what I've wanted to do is to get you used to getting yourself in a mindset, because the more you practice this, the easier things like lucid dreaming are. The easier actually having a full-on OBE or an out-of-body experience, the easier things like that become. At the moment, in essence, what we're doing is we're traveling there mentally. And the more advanced, I mean, if you read the Robert Monroe's book, he talks about using frequencies. So then you go into the realm of using things like binaural beats to induce lucid sleep, to induce an out-of-body experience, to get yourself in that semi. If you can remember us talking about how we want to get the serotonin and the melatonin to match up, which is where a lot of people have a lot of success with the wake to sleep, is because you're waking up at that golden block. If you remember us talking about the golden block, which is from around 4 till 6 in the morning. If you can become accustomed to doing that, then you can also become accustomed to doing it at will, for want of a better word. You will be able to get yourself into an instant state, into an instant routine where, okay, I am now going to be doing astral work. And then you get into that mind frame, you get into that mindset, you do your traveling, you start to set up a location, and before you know it, you're doing spell work, you're doing ritual work, you're doing ceremonial work in the astral realm. And magic in the astral realm is a lot different to magic in the physical realm, because you can have direct influence, like the fact of intent. If you intend it, it will happen, especially in the astral realm. So that's why I wanted to kind of combine. The first couple of lessons were about describing what's going on, what all the different levels are, what kind of thing you can experience. And then we went through going to what I call the bridge, which is where you first experience what the astral realm can be like. And then we went down into the lower realm, which is great for things like shadow work and overcoming fear, overcoming trauma. Trauma is a great thing to deal with in the lower realm, because I don't care what anybody tells you, you are not going to drag some evil vampire sucking 15 tentacle glowing eyed demon back with you. It doesn't work that way, people. These are myths and misconceptions that we need to get away from. And I hope over the course of this workshop that you guys have realized there's so much more to the astral realm than what you see in the movies. And I hope that through the discussions that we've had as a group and that we've had individually, you've gained a bit of knowledge. So I hope you've enjoyed the course.
Well, I had some questions.
Yeah, go for it, Andrea.
So I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No.
I thought you were closing off, and I thought I gotta get these questions put out. The first off is that I have just finished a novelette about the pyramids. And when you started to talk that we're going to the pyramid, I thought that was awesome. And I'm just wondering, how long time were we in our astral travel in real minutes?
In total?
Yeah.
About 25 minutes.
25 minutes. Oh, wow. And
about 25 minutes.
Just a clarification on the idea of astral travel and intent. So in other words, if we do our intentions in astral travel realm,
yes,
that it would be more probable that what we're intending will come to fruition. Is that correct?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you know what an affirmation is?
Yes.
Okay. So, and you know what intent is and how the two are distinctly different, right?
Yes.
Okay, so an affirmation would be something like, I am going to astral I'm going to astral project tonight. That is an affirmation. Okay. So when you're in the astral realm, when you set your intention out, you have a lot bigger audience.
Oh.
Okay, because you're going beyond the realm that we are in now, i.e. the here and now, because in astral projection, not only can you be in here and now, you can be in the past, you can be in the future, you can be both in the past and the future at the same time. So if you set an intention, for instance, say you were working in the lower astral realm, say for instance you were scared of spiders. I know it's a crazy thing, but fear is one of the a great thing to deal with in the lower astral realm. Okay, so you set your affirmation. You are going to astral project to the lower realm. You go through your steps. You've got your anchors, your familiarities. You're going. You've launched. You're there. Then, if you set the intent whilst you're there, I am not afraid of spiders. I have no fear of spiders. Chances are, because you're in the lower astral realm, you are going to see spiders. But because you have your affirmation set and you have the intent that you are not going to be afraid, guess what? You know you're working in an astral realm. You know you're not working in a physical realm. All it is a thought. But that thought is manifesting a spider. But you have nothing to fear of that spider because it's just a thought. And then before you know it, you're stroking the spider. It's almost like cognitive behavior therapy.
Yes.
Or exposure therapy, where you expose yourself to it, but you're doing it in a very safe, very secure. And here's the great thing about it. As we talked about with protection, if it gets too much, bubble up. If it gets too much, have your walls, have your shielding, have whatever, repel it. And here's the thing, because you're dismissing it, because you're getting rid of it, you are the one that is in control. You are deciding how close that spider gets. Say, for instance, you use a bubble technique, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got your sphere of protection around you and you've got spiders crawling over it. And you can see those 8 eyes and those legs and the thickly hairy legs. And because you know they can't physically get to you because of your bubble of protection. And if your bubble of protection starts to get eaten away by the goblins and the hobgoblins and the chomping teeth and fangs of the thing, here's the thing, you can say, enough, home. You've still gone through exposure therapy. You've still exposed yourself. And then maybe next time when you try it, you'll allow them to come onto your bubble. But what you will do is you'll reduce the bubble in size. So instead of them being 10 feet away from you, they're only 5 feet away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of them being 5 feet away, the next time you go there, they're only 3 feet away from you. And before you know it, these big, ugly, scary creatures become your fur friends. But because you're experiencing it and it's an actual experience and you have a memory of it, you are able to use that in the here and now, in the physical realm where we are right now. Then maybe next time you see a spider that's 10 foot away from you, you won't scream, throw your arms up in the air and scream the house down and run out. Maybe you'll allow that spider to get a little bit closer before you swat it with a broom. So you can use the astral realm to help manifest things like prosperity, for instance. What's to say that instead of doing a cinnamon spell at the beginning of each month and blowing good intent and protection and wealth and prosperity into your house, you're doing it in the physical realm? But what's to stop you doing that in the astral realm too?
That's what I was wondering.
Because then you have that extra reassurance. Everybody knows what they're familiar with. It's easy to build something in the astral realm that you're familiar with. You think it. You manifest it through thought. That's the key. Intent, manifestation, and affirmation. So you set your affirmation to give you the intent, to give you the projection to manifest it. It's a simple mathematical equation, for want of a better word.
That's fantastic.
If you have the thought leads to intent. The intent leads to release because you intend it to happen, therefore it will happen. That gives you the release. And from the release, you get the manifestation. So think about it as a math problem, if that makes it any easier for you. Thought plus intent plus release equals manifestation.
The release being the astral projection.
Correct.
Okay. That's beautiful. I got more to work with now.
I'm glad I can help. I noticed a few other people were typing away, so I'm just going to go back up on this chat and make sure I haven't missed anything.
Maybe while you're doing that, Paul, I just wanted to say it's been an honor and a pleasure, and I think you're the best guided person ever I've experienced in putting through a meditation and this now astral projection ability.
Well, I'm glad you found it. And here's the thing. I believe you've been here for every single class, haven't you?
I have. I didn't take part in the lower realm, but I was there, around it.
Yep. Okay. So you now have the experience. You're within the astral chat. I'm happy to take people through. If you guys want, I will record a meditation for the bridge, for the lower, for the middle, and for the spiritual. I will record a meditation at some point. Don't hold me to it. It's not going to be over the next couple of weeks. It'll probably be a few weeks away. But I can record a meditation and I can dump the file that you can download onto your computers, onto your cell phones, that you can use as a way of using it as a basis to getting your own meditation set up. I would quite happily do that if that's what you guys want. Yep, I'll do that, no problem. But it's not going to be tomorrow, is what I'm trying to say. It's going to take me a little bit of time.
That would be so wonderful that you could do that and you're willing to do that.
Well, I like to take care of my fellow classmates, because at the end of the day, we're all here for learning, right? Whether that's me learning how to teach and how to become a better teacher and how to better project myself to help you guys, which is why I always ask you guys for the feedback. I always ask, please let me know if anything could improve, even if it's the quality of my microphone. Let me know, because I can't change things and I won't change things unless I know things need to be changed. And that's why I almost, I openly encourage criticism. I openly encourage encouragement. Anything you want to say about these classes, I don't care how bad it is, I am not going to get offended. You guys learn from me, I learn from you guys. So it's your direct feedback that plays an important part in this.
I think you've been absolutely superb, and you'll notice in the chat all the compliments that you're getting right now.
I've actually had to go back. I'm back as far as the airbender. Every time I see little girls, it's simply Kelsey, that's just because you've got a warped imagination, my dear. Okay. Forest adventure. Anyone loves the little. No, Rebecca, you're not the only one that loves the little girl. As I say, to me, she is a teddy bear. Bluegrass, very friendly. Well, I'm glad we got that for you, Andrea. That was so cool. And a child. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop the recording. I'm gonna keep the room open, but I am gonna stop recording.
Before you do, can I ask something?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it, honey.
You said a while back in the chats that you were going to, I hope this was not an admin chat. You're going to make recordings of intermediate and classes and a automated writing course. and
Yes.
something else? Or were you still going to do that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yay. Thank you.
No problem.
Also, just I wanted to echo everything Andrea said. You have been completely amazing. Absolutely love your classes, and you yourself are one of the most amazing people ever. Thank you for everything
Oh,
you do.
stop. You're going to make me blush.
I agree. You're the most amazing person ever, and your classes are amazing. And thank you so much for tonight and for the journey that you took us on. It was really very special and so incredible. And thank you for that.
I definitely want to hear about yours.
I can't wait to tell you. It was so cool. And thank you for taking me to the very special place that you took all of us to. It really means a lot. And thank you, yeah, for everything. You're fabulous.
Ugh. Excuse me while I bathe in my own glory. Anyway, back to reality and coffee. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, not seeing anything in chat. Nobody's coming on voice. Okay, folks, I just want to say thank you for coming on this journey with me. It's been a while since I've taught classes. Something I said I would never do again, but ended up doing anyway. So from me to you, thank you. Thank you for spending the time with me. Obviously, the Astral chat is definitely still going to stay. As I say, the slides will be being made public, but the video recordings will not be being made public. They will remain only for students, and they are going to be password protected. You'll get a copy of the password once all of the material is hosted and up there. And it's just been a pleasure. It's been 6 or 7 weeks of pure fun, pure bliss. A few hair-pulling moments, but we got through that, and I hope you all enjoyed the workshop. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to, obviously, if you're not already, like and subscribe to the Divination YouTube channel. Go over there, press the subscribe button, press the notification button, turn it to all. Then every time a new video gets loaded up there, you will know about it. It's a great resource, just as are the student pages. The student resources, and obviously the Divination Academy website as well. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here, and thank you for allowing me the time and spending time with me. I'm just sorry class has run over by 25 minutes.
And I think also too is that we all love you, and I know you love us, so that makes it mutual.
Okay. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being here. You'll have a great, safe night.
You too. And we'll see you soon.